Well, hello, my beautiful LGBTQ fam. I'm Elliot Bright, and this is the Gaily News. It's August 13th. Here's the rundown. A Virginia Democrat stormed out after a confrontation with trans constituents. A federal judge largely dismissed Minnesota's lawsuit against the Trump administration's anti-trans Title IX stance. The Human Rights Campaign is doubling down on school board work. Amsterdam has scrapped a long-planned central LGBTQIA+ meeting site. And the All-Ireland LGBTQ+ rugby tournament is heading back to Limerick. Let's get into it. We start in Virginia, where a constituent meeting went sideways fast. Democratic Representative Eugene Vindman sat down with transgender constituents and allies who were furious about his May vote for Republican-backed legislation that would require schools to get parental consent before changing a student's gender marker, pronouns, or preferred name on official forms. Trans attendees described being outed to unsupportive parents and asked why they should trust Democrats who occasionally side with Republican measures targeting them. The conversation spilled into a hallway. A committee member told Vindman to shut up and listen. Vindman pushed back. The exchange escalated into mutual profanity. Vindman then walked out, refusing one more question. The next day he issued an apology, saying he failed to meet his own standards and should have spent more time listening and less time talking. The vote that sparked the anger is still on the books. The trust deficit is real. In Minnesota, a federal judge handed the Trump administration a partial win. Chief Judge Eric Tostrud largely dismissed the state's lawsuit challenging the administration's interpretation of Title IX as it relates to transgender students in sports and facilities. Most of Minnesota's claims were thrown out. One piece tied to potential federal funding conditions remains alive. The ruling does not settle the larger fight over whether states can protect trans students without risking federal dollars, but it does force Minnesota to look for another legal path. Blue state resistance just got a little more complicated. Meanwhile, the Human Rights Campaign is shifting more energy to the local level. On Thursday, the organization announced it is expanding its school board work and named 7 school board leaders as champions for creating safe, welcoming, and inclusive public schools. With student safety concerns rising and national policy growing more hostile, HRC is betting that the real daily battles for queer and trans kids are happening in school board meetings, not just in Congress or the White House. Local power still matters. Across the Atlantic, Amsterdam has pulled the plug on a long-running idea. After 8 years of planning, the city has abandoned its proposed central LGBTQIA+ meeting site concept. Organizers and community members had hoped for a dedicated, visible hub. That vision is now off the table. The decision leaves a gap in a city that has long marketed itself as one of Europe's most queer-friendly capitals. And finally, a brighter note from Ireland. The All-Ireland LGBTQ+ rugby tournament is returning to Limerick. Inclusive queer sports continue to grow across the island, giving players a place to compete, build confidence, and claim space on the pitch. In a week heavy with political and legal setbacks, the simple fact of a tournament coming back is a reminder that community keeps building even when institutions drag their feet. That's the landscape on this Thursday. A Democratic congressman walking out on trans constituents, then apologizing. Minnesota's legal challenge mostly shut down. HRC pouring energy into school boards. Amsterdam shelving a queer community hub. And LGBTQ+ rugby returning to Limerick. Pressure, pushback, and the people who refuse to stop showing up. Thank you for spending this time with the Gaily News. I'm Elliot Bright. Come back tomorrow, same energy, fresh headlines. Stay fierce, get out there and make them uncomfortable. If you aren't following us here or on our Instagram and TikTok, give us a like, give us a follow. We appreciate it.